I played a game called Morse, which I actually went and picked out specifically as soon as I saw it, because I said, hang on, you might remember a couple years ago, I recorded a podcast about going to the Game Developers Conference, GDC, in like 2022 or something. And at GDC, there is an area that is specifically for demos of games with unconventional control schemes. It's called Control-Alt. Cute name. And one of the games that I tried there was Morse. It was a game, at that time, played entirely with an actual like Morse code input, like you'll see in the movies, you know, where the little thing that you like press down and, you know, makes the tick sounds and all that. I literally played it with that. It was very cool. And so when I saw the demo here, I was like, oh, cool. They're bringing it to Steam as like a full release. That's really neat. Because it is the type of thing that you could easily just, you know, play on a keyboard or something. There were a couple games there that I thought were like, this is a really cool experience. I would also like to play this, you know, if you ported this to like Steam or something and I could play it just on a keyboard, I also wouldn't mind that, just because it was such a cool, the ideas for some of those games were so cool. Right. So Morse is a really cool little, I don't know what I would describe it as. Some kind of real-time, not puzzle. I'll just give you the rundown. So basically it's a lot like Battleship, where you have a grid. You have a grid, and enemy warships come from the right, and they move to the left on like one of the planes of this grid, one of the rows of this grid. And your job is, you've got a little crosshair that rests on one of the cells at any given time, and you can switch. You're trying to switch your crosshair, your targeting reticle, to a space where one of the enemy warships is at, and just to fire at them with a missile. You can also lay down mines before the level starts, and then like the wave comes, and it's like this wave-based thing. The catch is you are switching between these spaces by inputting Morse code. So there's a word at the top, and then there's numbers, that's like the x-axis, and then the y-axis is numbers. So letters, you input letters to move left and right, and numbers to move up and down. And the challenge of the game is basically how fast can you put in Morse code? Because some things, I mean, literally one of the two inputs of Morse code is holding the button down for longer. So if, you know, I think a 1 in Morse code is like dot, dash, 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 dash. It's 4 dashes. So if there's a ship on, you know, the first row, and you're like, fuck, bop, 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 and the whole time it's moving, right? And oh god, it's speeding up. Also, the ships are hidden. You can't see them until you launch a cannon at a space, and it will kind of light up the area around it. So there's a lot of hidden information. Very simple, straightforward. It starts ramping things up with just more spaces. Just the playing field gets larger. There's more ships. Some of them are faster. Some of them take more shots. You get upgrades after levels to your weapons. You can get, like, occasionally you'll be able to load like a bigger shell or something that'll hit multiple like adjacent spaces. And all the inputs are just in Morse code. Also, really cool, really nice feature in the options menu to actually fine-tune the Morse code input. So you can control how long you have to hold down the button for it to count as a dash, and you can control how long you want it to take before it takes the entire input that you made. Because every time you input like a dot or a dash, there's like a bar that starts ticking down, and when it gets to the bottom, it'll accept your input and like move you to that space. So at the start, I felt like it was a little bit slow. I eventually got it to a space where it was fast enough that I felt like once I started getting the hang of the Morse code, I didn't have to like hold up. You know, I didn't have to do too much waiting for my inputs to go through. And you know what? Once you get the hang of it, it is really fun. There's just something about the way, that level of friction, that you can't just point and click it where you wanna go. You have to like do this kind of code. You literally have to input a code with different timings for each character to move around and make your inputs. And just that little twist makes it really satisfying once you're able to get really fast at it and like dot dash, and then click and shoot, and then you're like, okay, now dash, dot dash, and then you move over, and then like dot dash, move down, and then click and shoot, and you get like into this groove, and you feel like, oh, I've really got this down. So simple game, small game, very nice minimal aesthetic, just kind of like white on black with a little bit of red. Just cool. Go check it out. It's called Morse. And yeah, apparently it's going to be, the game is like, I don't know how much longer the game is going to be in the final release. I think there's like 20 something waves maybe, which I think would be cool. I don't know how many more mechanics they would add. I also don't remember if they were planning on like having some sort of endless mode, which I think would be fun. I think some kind of like survival mode would be really fun for this game, with just like infinite ramp up or something like that. Because this is the game. This is the type of game where you want to get good at it, and then once you're good at it, you're like, oh, now I want to push it. Really cool. So definitely check out Morse.